Hello and welcome to our gentle yoga class today. As far as props, you may want to have a chair handy, you may want to have a couple blocks handy or a blanket to pad the knees. Other than that, we are ready to get started. So we're going to start in a standing position today. So I invite you just to have your feet hip distance apart. And if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can close your eyes here. If that makes you feel a little unsteady or nervous, I invite you to have a hand on a chair or hand on a wall. Or you can simply keep your eyes open if that makes you feel safer. But notice where you're keeping your center of gravity. Are you more on one foot compared to the other foot? And let's just take a moment to see if we can center our position in space so that we're equally distributing pressure through both legs. And now bring your awareness towards your knees and notice if the knees are locked straight or if they're soft. And now bring your awareness up towards your hips, your pelvis, your low back. And gently tighten your stomach muscles, drawing the belly towards your spine with a little bit of a tightening feel. And now I invite you to stretch through the crown of your head as if somebody's gently pulling up on the crown of your head, elongating your spine, creating a lengthening sensation. And now feel an openness across the chest. And feel your shoulders sink down away from the ears without losing that length feeling through the spine. And now let's open eyes if they're not open yet. And we'll take an inhale as you reach your arms out to the sides and overhead any amount, however they want to move. And then exhale, bring the arms back down by your sides. Let's go a couple more times like that. Notice how the shoulders are feeling. Maybe there's some side-to-side differences, or maybe there's a little clicking and popping going on. Again, we're just moving throughout the range that you feel comfortable with. One more time here. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, lower down. And then let's take a couple shoulder shrugs all the way up to the ears. Roll them back and down. Let the body feel that difference between the tension that the shoulders have when they're reaching up to the ears and compare that with a relaxed position with them settled down. One more time. Inhale, shoulder shrug. Exhale, let the shoulders sink down away from the ears. And then from here, let's take chin to chest with the head moving forward, just holding this position. Notice perhaps a gentle stretching in the back of the neck. And now let's roll the head back to midline and turn your head towards the right. Notice how far it wants to go and back to middle, and turn your head towards the left. Notice again how far it wants to go and back to middle. From here, let's make our way closer to the mat. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. And we'll soften through the knees as we fold forward towards your mat. Take a moment to hang here. Your knees can remain soft and slightly bent. Other options are to use your block and bring the floor up a little bit higher with a block so that each time we have a surface that we can reach. If we keep the knees bent, we're offloading or taking pressure off of that low back and the sciatic nerve. Take a moment here to remind yourself to relax through the neck. Nice work. And then from here, let's bend through the knees. Feel all four corners of each foot as if we have four corners in our feet And now press through the feet and the legs as you rise up to stand. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. And let's fold forward. Again, notice the control and the relaxation as we're flowing through our movements, as much as we feel like we can control those movements. And now bend through the knees. Press through your feet all the way up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. And pause. Breath in. Breath out. Feel the tallness of your spine. Feel your posture upright. And now from here, let's sink into a chair position. So we're just going to sink slightly back with our hips. Now if we're taking care of our knees, we don't need to go real deep here. We can keep our knees just in a shallow bend. We can also hold on to a chair. And so if we feel more comfortable in this position with one hand or both on a chair, you can do that. Otherwise, finding our chair position here. We can choose to have our arms at heart center. Overhead is another option, or out in front as another option. Nice work, arms to heart center, and let's fold forward. Allowing the neck to relax. Now let's add a halfway lift here. So we'll create a lengthening through the spine as we inhale. Hands can rest on shins or thighs here, or even a chair. And then on the exhale, just fold forward. And now, feeling free to use your blocks or hands on the mat, we'll step our right leg back. And from this back position, we can keep our back heel lifted if that feels okay. If that is uncomfortable on the balls of your back feet, you can always take that back heel down and turn the foot out just a little bit. From this position, we'll tighten belly muscles. Draw our thighs towards each other, even though they're not going to move. We're going to think about that. And you can take your left hand to thigh or rise up to high lunge with both hands. So if you want to use a little support with that hand on the thigh, you can. Otherwise, we make our way up, finding that balance challenge here. As always, adjusting this to meet the needs of your individual body, making it more supported or less supported, depending on what your body needs today. Breath in, breath out. And now arms to heart center. With control, again, we're reaching down now for those blocks or the mat, either way. Once we're there with control, slowly lower that back knee to the ground. Now, I forgot to grab my blanket here, so if you're like me and you need to take a break, grab that blanket quick. So you can cushion that back knee if you'd like to with a blanket handy. So we're on one knee here. And then we can shimmy that front leg a little closer towards us. Come on up to your half kneel position. From this position, we're tucking our tailbone under slightly, lifting through the spine. And then if it works, we can take either arms out to the sides or overhead. Breath in and out. Letting the shoulders sink away from the ears. And now arms to heart center. Let's reach down for those blocks or the mat. We can lift that back knee and we're going to step that back leg in to meet the front leg. Take a moment just to wiggle your knees, hips, and ankles and press through your feet as you rise up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands on the floor or the blocks. We're going to step the left leg back this time. Reaching that leg back onto the balls of that back foot, or you can place the heel down, kind of turn the toe out a little bit if you want more support. This time we'll take right hand to thigh or rise up to your high lunge if that's a transition that you're used to. Otherwise, right hand to thigh, belly tight, and draw the inner thighs towards each other, making that slow, controlled transition up to your high lunge. And then finding our breath here. Breath in, breath out. Arms to heart center. Let's reach down for floor or blocks. We'll take the back knee down here, and our blanket, if we need to grab it, we can. And then we can shimmy that front leg a little closer to us as we make our way up to our half kneel position. If it works, reaching the arms up overhead, tucking that tailbone under slightly and feeling the stretch in the front part of that left hip perhaps. Breath in, breath out. Arms to heart center. And let's reach down now for floor or blocks. We're gonna lift that back knee and step the back leg in to meet the front leg. Soft through the ankles and knees again. Give yourself a moment here. And then press strong through your feet and legs to rise up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. I invite you to pause, just take a breath in and out. Notice how you're feeling. Notice physically, notice mentally. And then from here, let's root through our left foot. We're gonna bring our weight over onto that left leg, lifting that right leg for a moment of balance. Now, if this is tough, you can always use that block if it's handy and just gently place that foot on the block for kind of an in-between balance option. And if it works better for you just to lift that leg up in front, that's also an option. So we have, depending on our individual body needs, we have a couple different options to work on that balance. Now let's step that right leg back, and we're gonna place the foot down in the back to find our warrior one position. So back toe is out, and just kind of pointing out to the side just a little bit, not all the way out to the side, and our front knee is bent. Now I'm gonna keep that blanket where it's at because we may end up on our knee again. And so that's why I chose to keep that there. Feel free to take your arms overhead here. Or again, you can keep them at heart center if that feels better. Breath in and out, finding stability, finding strength. You can always hold on to a chair if it works better for you. From our warrior one, let's take arms, and if they're at heart center, if it feels okay to take them into a cactus position, we'll do that. If our arms are overhead, we can slowly lower the elbows, pulling the shoulder blades towards each other, really feeling that openness across the chest. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. Find strength and power in this position with those arms. And then we can take them back to heart center or reach overhead with them. Inhale, exhale. Let's shift our body forward towards that left leg. And then we're going to step that right leg in to meet the left leg. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. A lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Nice work, soft through the knees and ankles. And now press through your feet, feel strong through your legs. Rise up to stand, inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. We're gonna root through our right leg this time. Coming to all four corners of that right foot. Lifting the left leg, either for a moment of balance in front, or you can place your foot on a block as an option. So take a moment to work this balance, your choice, your preference. And then as you're ready, stepping that left leg back, and we'll find warrior one. back heel comes down. The back toe is just turned out slightly. Whatever comes naturally for that ankle. Arm position, we can keep it heart center or overhead. Find strength in this warrior one, feeling both feet grounded. And then from here, feel free, if you'd like to try those cactus arms, pulling the elbows downward, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Maintaining the length through our spine as we're able here. And now reaching back overhead or to heart center. Big breath in, breath out. And shifting forward onto our front foot, come to the balls of that back leg, back foot, and we'll step that leg in to meet the right leg. And let's fold forward here. Allowing a moment for the head to relax, allowing the knees to remain soft. Adding a halfway lift with an inhale, creating a gentle flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. And now bending ankles, knees, hips. Press strong through your feet as you rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. Again, take a moment to pause here. Notice your body physically. Checking in with all those body parts. And take a moment to notice mentally. What's occupying space? What are your thought patterns? Can we work to reconnect our brain with our body in healthy ways? Calming some of those extra thoughts that start running wild in our minds. Picking and choosing the thoughts that are conducive for our well-being. Giving ourselves permission to let go of some of the other things that crowd our minds and wreak havoc, really. From here, let's go back to some more movement. Rooting through that left leg. Lift the right leg. Step the right leg back to warrior one. Back heel is down. Taking an inhale, overhead reach if you choose with your arms. Exhale, arms can float gently back down towards the mat or blocks. And we're going to come down onto our back knee again. And now option to add a twist if you'd like to. You can place that right hand onto a block or onto the floor. Engage your deep abdominal muscles with a gentle tightening as the left arm reaches up for the twist. And now let's untwist. We can tuck that back toe, lift the back knee, step that right leg in to meet the left leg, and rise up to standing. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Rise to stand. Inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. Root through the right leg. Step the left leg back, warrior one. Finding the back heel down. Inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, arms to heart center, flowing down towards the mat or the blocks. And we'll take that back knee down here, just like we did on the other side. And then the option to add the twist if you would like to, so the left hand plants floor or block, right hand opens for the twist. And then from here, gently untwist. And we can plant our hands. If you want to help that right leg underneath you, we're going to bring it down to a hands and knees position here. So from our hands and knees, moving into some cat and cow. On the inhale, gently dropping the navel down towards the mat. On the exhale, rounding the spine upward. Curling the tailbone, gently curling the neck. And moving at your own pace here, working to smooth out the movement, knowing that some parts are going to move a little easier than other parts. And we can choose to move in a range that feels safe for our body. Bowing and flexing the spine, bringing healthy blood flow to the nerves all around on either side of the spine. Maybe one more time here. And then finding our neutral position again with our spine. Let's take a moment to give the wrists a break. So we'll take knees wide and come into a child's pose. Shifting the hips back towards the heels and reaching the arms forward. So I'll give a few options, because if we're taking care of hips or knees, like let's say we've had a knee replacement, or if we had a hip replacement, we're going to keep our hips a little bit higher. We may not sink back as far. If we're taking care of shoulders, we may choose to come down onto our forearms here for a bit of a stretch. And so I invite you just to take the child's pose, the stretch that works best for your body. Once you're here, just taking several breaths, noticing how your body feels, noticing the different areas. Maybe on the exhale, you can slow that exhale down a little bit, directing air and relaxation to areas that you feel tension in. And now from here, let's rise back up, finding hands and knees. We'll draw the belly towards the spine with a tightening. And then we can take our right leg and reach it behind us here, reaching that heel towards the back of your room. And if you feel nice and sturdy and you want to add the arm lift, then I invite you to take a left arm, reaching with the thumb leading that motion in front. So we're getting kind of an opposite pull with the fingertips of that left arm reaching forward and the heel of that right leg reaching behind you. Notice now if that low back wanted to sag, and if that low back wanted to sag, draw it back up with those belly muscles tightening. And then arm and leg can come in. Let's swap to the other side. So left leg reaches back. Now the option to stay here is fine if you want to keep both hands down, or if you'd like to, you can add that right arm lift. Pressing strong through your left hand, fingers are wide, distributing that pressure through the left wrist and hand. And now arm and leg come back in. Nice work. From here, let's take one more child's pose, reaching the hips back. Arms forward, your child's pose of choice. Breath in, breath out. And now as you feel ready, rocking back forward, we're going to find a down dog position. And if down dog is something that doesn't work for your body, no problem at all. Feel free to slowly make your way back to standing and we'll meet you in standing. But if you'd like to transition through down dog, we can tuck our toes under, pressing the hips up, pressing the floor away from the hands. Our knees can stay nice and soft here. Heels do not need to touch the ground. Find a breath in and out here. Maybe it feels good to do a little bit of pedaling of those ankles here too, to find a little stretch in the calf or the Achilles tendon, the back of the ankle. Here we were just doing our pedaling. Let's go ahead and walk the feet towards the hands. Soft through the knees. Let's rise up to standing. Inhale, overhead lift. Exhale, arms to heart center. And we're going to move into a couple of balance poses here. This is a time where I invite you to have a chair handy if you're doing this at home and are in a convenient location to just have something to hold on to. So you can also have your block in front of you if you have a block. If you don't have a block, no big deal. You will be just fine without a block too. Taking arms to heart center. Let's root through our left leg. We're going to make our way into a tree pose of choice today. And so feeling all four corners of your left foot grounded. I invite you now to think about the left thigh, the left glute muscle, that's your rear muscle, and the left inner thigh drawing forward. So these are all things that kind of set up that solid grounded chain all the way through that left leg. Now feel the belly draw towards the spine. And now we're ready to lift your right leg. And so either taking the option of putting that leg on a block if you want kind of an in-between option for balance, like let's say that left knee doesn't want all the pressure, or taking that right leg into your expression of tree that you'd like to have today, just above the ankle or above your knee. You can certainly stay here with the hands at heart center, or you can take your arms overhead, finding that balance. Breathing in, breathing out. You can gently draw the elbows downward and find some cactus arms here too if you'd like to. Pulling the shoulder blades towards each other. Finding stability. And now just checking in to make sure you're still breathing. Some nice relaxed breath as the body is working hard in our balance. And then arms can come back to heart center if they're not there. Slowly make your way out of tree pose on that leg on that side. Feel free to give that left ankle, our standing ankle, a bit of a wiggle, and we'll make our way over to the other leg. So rooting solidly through your right leg. Set up that whole chain like we did on the left. Feel all four corners of your right foot engage. Feel the thighs strong. Feel the glute muscles. Lift through the spine. Let's lift now your left leg, either placing it on the block or on your other leg, on your right leg. And then picking the arms of choice here. Finding your relaxed breath as you work to balance. If you'd like to add those cactus arms, feel free to do that. These balance exercises sometimes work a little better if you pick something to focus on that's not moving too. So usually a few feet in front of you, just pick a spot to focus on, and that can help you with your balance, just finding that drishti or that focal point. And then slowly making your way out of tree pose on this side. Give yourself permission to take a few ankle circles on your right leg, the one that was holding you up. And I guess arm circles too. My hand wanted to go with my foot, whatever works. Nice work. Taking a couple shoulder shrugs. Let the body relax. And if that was tough for you today, that's okay. These balance poses are a work in progress. So I like to say it's more about our transitions in and out of them instead of being all about the end point. And so just keep working on those transitions. It'll come. Let's do another one here. We'll take arms to heart center. Rooting through your left foot. Let's lift that right knee. And now we can cross the right leg over the left, making a figure four position with our leg. This is also a place where your left arm can hang on to a wall or a chair. And then from here, we're gonna sit the hips back like we're sitting in a chair. And that left knee bends slightly. So we're working on our balance at the same time as keeping our leg alignment. So that left knee, for example, that kneecap should be pointing forward still. We don't want it rolling inward. And then that right outer hip, we might be feeling a bit of a stretch around that right outer hip. Perhaps we're also noticing all of the balancing that's happening in our left foot right now. And then slowly make your way back upright. Now we're going to tag on one more here with that right leg. Again, hold on if you'd like to. Or take both arms out to the sides. We're going to reach that right knee out straight in front of us any degree, however straight it wants to go. And then slowly place that foot back down. Right away onto the other leg. So standing on that right leg, arms to heart center. Lift your left. Cross that left leg over. And now we're sitting the hips back like we're going to sit in a chair. Feeling that outer left hip stretch. Noticing perhaps the right foot and all the balance adjustments it's making. Keeping that right kneecap pointing forward. And picking a spot to focus on in front of you that doesn't move. And then from here, let's slowly make our way up tall again. Reaching your left leg out straight. Reach that knee as straight as it wants to go. And then lower arms and leg back in. Good work. Feel free just to take a gentle little bounce in the knees and ankles there. Loosening that all up. Amazing job. And then let's go ahead and work into a couple more poses here. So we'll find the top edge of our mat. Taking an inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. Let's step back with your right leg into warrior one. Arms can stay heart center or overhead. Take a moment to find your balance here. And now let's open up to find warrior two. So we swivel open. Our left knee is bent. Our right knee is straight. I'm going to take a moment to move this block here. That way it's not blocking our way. And along those lines, I should have said if you want to have a block on either end of your mat, you absolutely can, because they might come in handy for a couple things. So if you need to take a moment to reposition those blocks, go for it. Finding your warrior two here. Arms can come out to the sides. In this warrior two, the left toes are kind of pointing towards the corner edge of the mat. If we look down at our thigh, we want to make sure that the thigh goes in the same kind of line as our foot, the direction that our foot wants to point. Feeling strong through your warrior two. From here, let's reverse the warrior. Right arm comes down, left arm lifts. Finding breath here. Finding our reach. And then flowing back through to warrior two. Now left elbow can come down towards your thigh. Right arm can reach for our side angle. Now for taking care of shoulders, we can always keep that right arm down a little lower. We can also hang on to a chair here so that we're not bending all the way down towards that thigh. And so feel free to try some different options if there's something that works better for your body. If the mobility is there to take the arm all the way over, go for it if that feels nice, as long as we're not compromising our spine position here. So if we feel like we have to lean forward quite a ways to get that arm forward, we want to maybe back off a little and allow ourselves the opportunity to breathe, allowing energy and blood flow to freely move to the muscles. Then back we go, finding warrior two. Arms to heart center. We're gonna straighten that left knee and then pivot that heel towards the same direction as your right heel. So we're in kind of a wide leg position. If you feel like you're doing the splits here, you can wiggle those feet a little closer together. And then soft through the knees, let's reach down towards the floor or mat. Taking a moment to relax the head. Feel the hamstrings stretch on the back of the legs, maybe the inner thighs. If that floor feels like it's a little too far away, grab your block and support yourself here at higher degrees with that block. Nice work from here. Bend the knees and let's roll on up. Give yourself a moment in case you're dizzy, and then we'll step to the top edge of your mat. Taking an inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Soft through the knees, let's rise to standing. Inhale. Exhale, arms to heart center. Step your left leg back, warrior one. Take a moment to breathe. Let the shoulders sink away from the ears. And now we're going to swivel open to warrior two. In our warrior two, now our right knee is bent and our left knee is straight. If we look down, we should see that right foot in alignment with our thigh angle. And so feel free to adjust your foot forward or back to meet your thigh angle. Let's take the left arm down. We can reverse the warrior here. And then back through to warrior two. We'll move into our side angle, so the right elbow can come towards thigh, or we can reach for a chair or a support. That left arm can stay down if we're taking care of a shoulder, or we can reach it up and over, depending on our shoulder and spine mobility here. For those that would like to, you can also reach that right arm down for a block if that feels better for you. Again, as long as we're not compromising that spine. So if we're bending forward and our hips are reaching back behind us, it could be that we're compromising some space somewhere. And we want to maybe back off out of that pose a little bit if we need to make sure we can really still breathe smoothly and have free-flowing movement so we don't feel like things are real constricted. Good work. Back up to warrior two. Arms to heart center. This time we're going to take that right heel and shift it so it's facing the same direction as the left heel. So we're in kind of that wide leg split position again. Heel toe your feet a little closer together if you feel like you're doing the splits. And let's bend the knees and reach down for floor or block again. Option here, if your shoulders allow it, you can certainly reach one or both arms behind your back, and you can reach those arms overhead if they move away from your body. And if this isn't comfortable, by all means, we don't want to force any motion. We can continue to have our hands supporting us underneath. And then from here, soft through the knees. If our arms are overhead, we can bring them back down underneath. And then let's slowly roll up. Give yourself a moment again to make sure you're not dizzy. Let your head clear. And we'll reposition to find the top edge of our mat again. We can gently make our way a little closer to the mat. Taking an inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending ankles, knees. We'll step back to down dog. Now if down dog again is not comfortable for you at all, then just meet us in a seated position. We're going to get there eventually. So we'll step back if we're going through down dog, one leg at a time. Take a moment here to breathe in and out. And then let's lower knees towards the ground. And we can slowly shift into a seated position. Taking our right leg out to the side and tucking our left leg in underneath towards our right inner thigh. From this position, we work to sit real tall. And for some of us, this isn't going to be enough of a stretch here, and that's okay. We can kind of give a little lift up out of the pelvis, pushing up on blocks if we have blocks. We can also, if let's say that left knee is hovering kind of up in space, we want to support that maybe with a block or a pillow so that we can just let that hip relax. And so take a moment to use your props around you to really help support your body where it needs support. From here, let's reach down for that right leg, taking a stretch. That left arm can stay resting on the left thigh, or it can reach up and over. And then we make our way back out of that position. Swap to the other leg now. So left leg comes out to the side, right leg tucks in. Again, take a moment to use your props. Maybe support under that right leg. Finding a tall spine. Reaching for that left leg. Now, if this is as far as you want to go today, that's okay. So we really want to make sure that we're not compromising that spine, not really hunching over. Finding length through the spine. And so taking this stretch to the degree that works for your body today. And then up out of this position. From here, we're going to untuck that right leg, so we end up with both legs out to the sides. This is a nice place to have those blocks handy again, so if we're in a really rounded spine position, and this position maybe is just tough, we can put some towels underneath our knees to support them in a bent position. We can press up with those on those blocks. Some of you maybe have longer arms, and it works just to press up through the floor. Finding length. And if you want to stay in this position right now, that's fine if you're getting enough of a pull, or angle forward any degree depending on your spine, your hamstrings, your hips. Lots of things are going to really affect what this looks like for each individual. Wherever you're at, I invite you to really breathe, use your exhale to allow areas of tension to release. And then we're slowly making our way up out of this position. And from here, let's bend our knees in one at a time. We're going to make our way onto our back. And so once we're on our back, feel free with knees bent to take a moment just to do a little side-to-side shift here with those knees and hips. A little back and forth motion to loosen up that low back. Maybe it feels nice to take the arms out to the sides, Gentle oscillation for our low back. And then let's find stillness with the knees bent. From here, moving into some bridge. And so press into your feet as you lift your hips. Now you can keep the arms down if you'd like to, or you can lift those arms up overhead any amount. So you can lift them pointing straight up or take them all the way over if those shoulders are needing a stretch. And then let's bring the hips and the arms back down. So moving a few more times with that now with our breath. On the inhale, lift the hips. If we choose, we can lift the arms. On the exhale, lower hips, lower arms, working to find a nice smooth movement here. Press into your feet. Exhale back down. Let's go one more time here. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. And then taking your right leg out straight, let's draw that left knee in towards your chest. You can take hold around the left thigh if that works for you. And then just reach the knee towards straight any amount, keeping the neck relaxed here. And then bend your left knee. So we're just going to pump that left foot up and down a few times. No need to force that left knee straight. Don't mind the barking dog in the background. And now drawing that knee into chest. After that one, let's take the right hand, take hold of the left knee, pull the left knee across your body any degree here until you get that outer left hip stretch. The left arm can come out to the side with the palm up. Now this is one where if we have had a hip replacement, we want to be a little careful pulling that left hip, if it's the left hip, for example, across the body. That's usually one of those motions that we're supposed to avoid for a bit. Find your breath here. Try to relax into each stretch. Feeling free to support your body wherever you need extra support. And if you have a dog that walks in front of you, maybe just giving that dog a little love, silently cursing at it to get out of your way. And then let's come back to our normal position and swap legs. So our right leg can come into chest, reach around to the back part of your right thigh, and then work to straighten that right leg and bend the right leg. So that little pumping action that we did, reaching up, reaching down. Nice gentle movements, no need to force that knee straight. And now with your right knee, drawing it in towards your chest. And if you have a dog that sits on you, just gently pushing the dog out of the way. Take that left hand, reach it around to the right knee, and reach that knee across the body so you end up in rotation the other direction. Now if that right arm wants to come out to the side, feel free to take it out there. Find your breath, try to relax. Coming back to center, let's bend both knees, taking a butterfly stretch here, so feet together, knees wide. If we're experiencing any low back discomfort here, feel free to gently draw the small of the back down towards the mat, and usually this helps relieve any discomfort. And now drawing our knees towards each other again. Feel free to take any other stretches that would feel good for your body. If your body's just craving to finish with a certain stretch, take a moment to do that. And then give yourself permission as we close out our class to find a moment of stillness on your back with your knees bent or straight. Bringing awareness now to your breath, feeling the rise and fall of your belly. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through nose or mouth if that's accessible. As you inhale, feeling the rise of the belly and a gentle ribcage expansion. And on the exhale, the reverse. Allowing your neck to relax, allowing your jaw to relax. Allowing the area behind each eye to relax. Releasing tension through your facial muscles. Giving yourself permission to be here as long as you would like to. As you finish out your practice this morning or this afternoon, depending on when you're doing this, I thank you for joining me. Namaste.